guys, so today I just want to teach you 15 hand gestures that I use in my online teaching classrooms, which will help you so much, and it is a very effective way of making everything clear to your students and having them follow your instructions effectively. Yes, please do use this in your classroom. It is so important, guys. I cannot emphasize that more. So first of all, we have to discuss TPR. Now, TPR stands for Total Physical Response. And this means you use your body, your facial expressions, and hand gestures in explaining things and giving instructions. So we have one thing that is TPR and another thing that is instructional gestures. So instructional gestures are used when you want to explain an activity or you want to tell them, listen, look, it's time to write now, or it's time for class, whatever the case may be. TPR is more when you explain vocabulary. So when I want to explain tennis, I would go pew, pew. When I want to explain eat, I can go, you know, exaggerate it and have the students, follow with you and do these things. So let's get started, guys. Here is the 15 hand gestures. Pew, pew. Number 1, listen. Listen. So you will obviously use listen when you want the students to focus on anything that you have to say, or you introduce new vocabulary, or they have to listen to some sounds or stories. Number 2, look. Look. Now, look is obviously used if you want to focus their attention on something visual. So I use these things when I introduce movements, if they have to look at something that I'm eliciting on the screen. So look you will use a lot. Number 3, speak or talk. So this you will obviously use when you want them to actually speak aloud in the classroom, or when they want to do some speaking activities, or if you want them to read a sentence, if you want them to, say what something is, you will obviously use speak. Number 4, be quiet. Be quiet. So guys, this is not rude. Now let me tell you a little secret about online English teaching. Your classroom is sometimes very noisy. You will sometimes be in the living room of a Chinese family where there's like a mother, a father, a grandmother, 3 babies, how many kids, and everyone is just in the room. And so you obviously have to tell them to keep quiet or be quiet, and you even have to say these things when you want students to do individual work. So you want the one student to be quiet, which is they sometimes can't tell which one you're talking to. So yes, you will have to use that. Number 5, pair work. So yeah, pair work, guys, is super important. I know a lot of Chinese parents, they really try to encourage that in your classrooms. So do use that, it is very important. And again, teacher talking time is going down. Number 6, 1 volunteer, 2 volunteers, 3 volunteers, and so on. You really want the students to volunteer and have them speak as much as possible throughout your class. You do not want to talk a lot in your classrooms. It is very important to lower your teacher talking time and raise the student talking time and really focus on the students. So yes, and this is also very important why hand gestures and TPR come into practice. It makes you actually speak less. Number 7, homework. Homework. writing. Writing. Yes, guys, so obviously sometimes your students will get homework at the end of the lesson, and then you have to, show them that they have to do their homeworks, or you can even hold up a page and then just do this with your hand. And you can also use it when you want to do a writing activity. So you will have very little writing activities in online English teaching because the students sometimes do not have the function to write on the program themselves. So yes, if you have a writing activity, you can obviously do this. Number 8. Stand up. Sit down. So you are obviously wondering, why would my students not be sitting down in online English teaching when one would assume that everyone would sit down, but that's not the case. So students do walk around, they go to the bathroom and they drink water and they want to show you something exciting from their rooms and they want to ask their mommy something, and there's so many things. So yeah, the students do walk around sometimes a lot, but there are students who don't do that, so let's hope you get those ones. Number 9. Speak louder. Speak louder. You would use this when you want your students to speak louder, because sometimes in online teaching it really happens that you cannot hear your students. Either they don't understand that they should come closer to the microphone, or they don't have a microphone, or there's very bad background noise, or their pronunciation is very bad and you cannot understand them. So you have to use speak louder in the class. This makes it way more obvious for the students to understand your instruction. Number 10. What? What? So yes, when you do ask students questions, some of them don't realize that you're asking them any questions. So you have to sometimes exaggerate. What animal is it? Or what color? Or, exaggerate. Exaggeration is key, guys. Please exaggerate on everything you do. Number 11. Groups. 1 group. 2 groups. 3 groups. So yeah, guys, you would use groups a lot sometimes, and having them, because you get companies that have massive big classes and then you want them to be divided into groups and do some group work. So you will use that, but most often the majority of the companies, they do have about maximum 6 kids. So the groups are not really that important, but yet you can still do 2 groups, 3 groups. The options are unlimited. Number 12. Make a sentence. Make a sentence. Make a sentence is very, very, very important, guys. You have to encourage your students to make sentences, because that is what it's all about. We as English speakers, we do not speak in single words, so we do want to have them speak as naturally as possible and trying to incorporate flow and conversational skills into the students. So please do make this hand gesture a lot when you introduce vocabulary. When you probably say, apple. Good, everyone, apple. Okay, now let's make a sentence. I like apples. Okay, so you have to incorporate that. Number 13. Good job. Good job. So yes, you have to reward your students. So this is basically either you have to reward them with a PPT system or some sort of stars on a whiteboard, or have a blackboard and write their names. You can have many different things. Good job, or yay, fantastic, good job. And making them feel proud, you know, of what they've been doing. And you know, they're actually engaging with a foreign teacher, so it's a lot of stress. So yeah, please guys, do reward your students for doing good stuff. And this really keeps them interested. Number 14, raise your hand. Raise your hand. So yes, you do find in online teaching that students do talk a lot over each other. So again, you would probably use be quiet, and you would use raise your hand and have students speaking in order. Number 15, time for class. Time for class. So yeah guys, this is a very simple one. You would obviously use time for class at the beginning of the lesson, and maybe at the end, like, oh, it's time to say goodbye, you know. But this is just to focus students on the structure of the lesson and just have them be aware and be attentive that this is the lesson now and they should start focusing and stop playing around. So I do encourage doing that at the beginning of your lesson to have an official starting point, guys. But along with hand gestures and TPR is facial expressions. So please do use your face in your classrooms. Make everything very expressive and very energized. And if you're shocked, don't look like this. Look like this. You know, if you're happy, don't look like this. Look like this. You know, the students really, it feels like they're in a movie. So yes, have fun with your classes, guys. There's no rules. Well, there is rules, but you know what I mean. Have fun, use your own style, be motivated, and encourage your students in a cool and awesome way. Guys, that's it from me. Happy teaching. Bye-bye.